Hello, good morning and afternoon and evening, everyone. This is Anne Marie, and I just want to say welcome back to my channel. Hello, it's been a hot minute. So, I am happy to report that my business is doing really well. People are seeking my assistance, and I can't be more grateful and more happy for that. I do get a little busy, and this morning I had a Zoom meeting scheduled for 10 o'clock, and I'm on it, and nobody showed up, and I'm like, what the heck? So I was like, all right, so that's just a symbol, I think, for the universe that I need to put out a little video. I it's I've been it's been a it's been a journey, guys. It's been a journey. So I think the last time I shared anything with y'all, I was up in Michigan. I had a beautiful reconnection with spirit, with humanity, with life, with energy. I'm hearing my mom walk down the hallway. Hold on. False alarm. She's just walking in the kitchen. Um, yeah, so hold on again. 1 second. Okay, back again. I realize I can't hear myself because I have to put my earphones in. That is quite all right. So I got really disconnected, really disconnected, really caught up into my head, and I had a crash down. I had a literal crash down, and I talked about it in my last video, but I didn't tell you something that was pretty interesting and quite metaphysical. So as I recalled, I fell asleep reading my Course in Miracles in my hotel room that first night that I had gotten to Michigan. What I didn't mention to you was that I woke myself up talking. I woke myself up saying, no, I can do this. I can do this. So I think I was having some sort of argument with my counsel, my guides, my higher self, or just my higher self going, no. I've got this. I can do this. I can navigate this planet. Interestingly enough, and of course, never mistaken, but synchronistically, I've gotten a lot of clients that are like, I'm done with this place. I can't handle this place. One of them very particularly said, nope, the human race is toast. It's screwed. I'm done. I want to go back. So, the struggle is real. It's really difficult to be a human being right now. Over and over and over and over again, I will remind you all that looking externally is not going to help. It's a temporary fix. So placing all your trust in an external figure, whether it be religious, spiritual, or political, or love, it's not going to get you where you want to go. What's going to get you where you want to go is internal peace. Oh, I just got a beautiful pop in my ears. Internal peace. Peace that is found deep within your core, deep within your body, which corresponds to your nervous system. And your nervous system is what is going to determine your peace. So how is it that we can bring peace to our own personal nervous system? Is through surrender. Surrender. What does that mean? I'm going to just surrender. I'm going to give all that bothers me back to God to handle, to source consciousness. I like to say, give it over to the universe. The universe is a creation of the creator. The universe is not the creator, the source. So I'm catching myself because, it's just, conversation, it's things that we're used to saying. So I'm catching myself, and I try not to say anymore. I give it over to the universe to handle. The universe is a form created by the source consciousness that we are a part of. So I'm not going to give anything to the universe, but as a creation of source consciousness, the universe is a tool for my utilization. So when we speak, when we create with our words, our actions, our emotions, our intentions, the universe is a tool for us to utilize as well. So I will give my desires, my sorrows, my pains to source, and allow source to utilize the universe to bring me peace. To utilize this grand machine, matrix, to bring to me my peace. All right, so back to reality. So then I left. I had a great time in Michigan, came back home, and then the following weekend I went away to my conference of the IAIH, the International Association of Interpersonal Hypnotherapy. And that is the accreditation body through which I have my certification, and through which I consider my colleagues, my professional colleagues. And it was so wonderful to hear the length and the breadth and depth of this profession of hypnotherapy. It was fascinating. And I felt so at home, and it reaffirmed my decision to be a part of this profession of interpersonal, transpersonal hypnotherapy. Everything that we generate from our own mind. You've heard me say this before. We live in a reflective universe, and that reflects back to us where we are. And our judgment mind, our egoic mind is always at play. Always, always at play. And as you know, I practice A Course in Miracles, and the founder of my school, which is what made me want to go there in the first place, is a Course in Miracles teacher. Beautiful Course in Miracles teacher. He has taught me and others ways of interpreting A Course in Miracles that I have not heard before, through a lens of such peace and surrender. So I'm coming back to my point about surrender. We just had a conversation which is on YouTube. I will attach it here. He's done maybe, I think, 24 sessions of a Sunday night, 24 calls that are all on YouTube in teaching A Course in Miracles. This year he has done. And I've been able to participate in a few of them, not very many. And I tend to be vocal because this is my life, and I have generated a platform through which I communicate how A Course in Miracles is so synchronistic. We talked about forgiveness. This was the last talk in a series for this year. So he's not going to have these live calls again. But I really encourage you to go to this website, to the IAIH website, and listen to these teachings and conversations about A Course in Miracles. So we talked about forgiveness. And of course, I pipe up and I said, well, when I was early on in the course, I realized, it's not just about forgiving my ex-husband, because at the time when I first was introduced to A Course in Miracles, I was going through a really awful time in my life when I was still married, but we were separated. And then going through this divorce process, I was laid off. Then I got rehired. So like the divorce process was going to continue. And then I found out that he had gotten his girlfriend pregnant. Oh, it was just one of the worst times in my life. And what I came to understand, what I needed to do was I needed to forgive my whole marriage. The entirety of my marriage, I needed to forgive. I needed to forgive my religion at the time because it put a pressure or an obligation, or it put a construct upon what marriage is that I adhered to for most of my life, which influenced my choices, decisions, emotions, judgments. And so I had to forgive the institution of religion. And forgiveness is a choice which allows you to free yourself. So I made that comment because when we think about forgiveness, we think about, we got to forgive individuals, which we do, which is like the highest, most important front place, okay? Because that's through which we receive our interactions. And I took it from there. At that point in my mind, it was so important, the concept of forgiving systems in place. Okay. I thought that was pretty profound. And then what Matthew Brownstein did in his reflection upon my sharing was, well, nothing here exists. It's not real. Eeks. It's all a projection. According to A Course in Miracles, what exists is only God and love. Everything else that we are experiencing in this realm is illusion. And he took it to this higher level. Well, then this interaction is illusory. Religion is an illusion. Anything that's created by man is an illusion. And it just took me to a different level of understanding. It is mind-bending to come to an understanding of what is real and what is not real, and really nothing is. I don't have A Course in Miracles in front of me, but if I look up okay, if I look up the very first quote from A Course in Miracles, it says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. The only thing that's real is God, is love, is our connection and our perception. A Course in Miracles makes a fundamental distinction between the real and the unreal, knowledge and truth, and under one law, the law of love or God. Truth is unalterable, eternal, and unambiguous. The world of perception, on the other hand, is a world of time, of change, of beginnings and endings. It is based on interpretation, not facts. Mamma mia. So after doing this work for so long, hey, we still get caught up in the Maya, in the illusion, the everyday that we are a part of. Of course, we have to get caught up into it. And we are in the world of the ego. We are. We're here. Okay, we're here. But the atonement is this coming to understand that we are one with God. And that's what the lessons, the 365 lessons of A Course in Miracles allows us to do, is to retrain our minds to see, to understand, to understand the love that we truly are, the love that exists, and that we are one with God. Now, we are not God. We are not our creator. Just as I said before, the universe is a creation of Source, and so we are a creation of Source. We are an extension of Source. We are a child of Source, created in Source's image. And so we create our reality. We create our experience. And the more we're able to see our experiences through non-judgment, the easier we're going to handle and navigate this world, and not want to go into the point of view of, I'm done with this world. Otherwise, let's just go. Okay, but there's a purpose for being here. There's an opportunity for being here. And it is the integration of the atonement into our each and every daily existence. And I believe that's really all that we can hope for in this very wild ride that we are on. Okay, there anything else that I want to kind of went off on that tangent, but I hope you appreciate that. Some really beautiful things have happened. I just want to give you another morsel. Okay, yeah, I can give you another morsel. So I live close to one of my teachers when I learned hypnotherapy, and I agreed to go spend a day with two students who are going to become transpersonal hypnotherapists, and I conducted and I received a past life regression. Now, past life regressions, they've been given quite a bit of heaviness because of the work of Dolores Cannon. And yes, okay, they're very healing and you can get a lot out of it. And so I wanted to know why I was given so many gifts, artistic gifts in this incarnation. And one of the things that we also are taught, and which is true, is that it could be metaphorical. It could be metaphorical, so that has to be in the back of your mind. Is it real? Of course it's real. At the end of the session, whether it's metaphorical, true, or not, what is important is that you are transformed. And so when I received my latest regression, like I said, I wanted to find out, why was I given so many gifts? And I was taken back to Jane Austen times. That's the only way I could interpret it. I saw myself dressed like Jane Austen. It's kind of like a Bridgerton, Jane Austen kind of mix of interpretation of what I went through. I saw myself in a room, lots of kids. I was a young girl, maybe about 12. Nobody paying attention to me. I was the youngest. I was a girl. And then I saw myself outside with the trees. It was like a little orchard. And where I felt at home in the trees. The trees paid attention to me. Like nobody in my family paid attention to me, but the trees paid attention to me. And I felt like I could talk to them and feel accepted. Then I moved forward. I saw myself married. I saw a guy with a pipe reading a paper, not really paying attention to me. I had some children. Then I saw myself older. I saw myself with a round face, with a bonnet and curls coming out from the bonnet. And I had learned to make myself a happy life. I saw small boys running around. I was thinking maybe I was a grandmother by that point. And then I moved forward, and then I said to myself in my regression, okay, but why this life? Why? I wanted to know why I was given these gifts in this life. And then I went forward to this gift, to this vision of a traveling soprano, traveling singer coming into our town. And so I lived a simple life. I didn't see myself as very wealthy, that I would have been exposed to like the finer, higher echelons of performances. But this one singer, I was so not impressed. And I speak I as me in this regression, as this woman in like England or wherever I was, Bridgerton, Jane Austen, where her voice was so angelic. And what I noticed about myself in this regression, the emotions I was tapping into. So as a hypnotherapist, people are like, well, I don't think I went under, Well, that's because you had a preconceived notion as to what you should experience. You're expecting to see everything in Technicolor. Okay, you had the expectation that if you don't see things in Technicolor, you're not having a valid hypnotherapeutic experience. Well, I'll tell you, from me being a hypnotherapist and an experiencer, I don't see things in Technicolor. Everything comes through my emotion. And the emotions that I was feeling, what I was tapping into, was this heart opening experience of divinity, of divine. I was saying, this woman is angelic. There can be no other explanation for what I am feeling because of just this woman opening her mouth and creating sound. So it was such a profound experience. My heart was opening up that I thought, then after I left the incarnation and I was in that pre-planning phase of my next life, I wanted to experience what it would be like to change people's lives through my voice. And I don't know how much you guys know, but from a small age, I was singing. From the age of 3, I would hear music and sing it. And so I was in kindergarten at 4.5, turning 5 in November. By that December, I was already the angel of the nativity scene, speaking, reciting, in the play at my kindergarten, at my church. And I was already singing at church. And then, but when I went from one parish to another, where the school and the parish were together, at fourth grade, fifth grade, I was already on the altar singing. The school recognized my talents. They threw me into the church, and there began my career of singing at church. And so as I was in this realm of the afterlife, let us say, I asked, well, then I'm curious as to why did I have problems with my thyroid? If I was healing people with my voice all throughout my life, the thousands of weddings and funerals and masses that I had done, giving so much comfort to people. Why did my thyroid, throat chakra get out of control? And in our process, we call in a higher wisdom. It could be the higher self. It could be a master of some sort, angels, whatever. Well, of course, Jesus was there for me. Of course, not of course. Jesus was there for me because he is my guide now, primarily through this new career that I have as a hypnotherapist. He has come and made himself known to me. And so Jesus was there. I didn't have to call him in. He was already there. And his answer was, well, because everything is energetic exchange. When your voice healed others, you took on their pain. And I can't tell you the amount of funerals I used to do when I was young and living here in Gainesville. The funerals that I would do were very tragic because it was a young congregation, and I've done deaths of cancer, suicide, infants. I remember there was a casket that looked like a styrofoam cooler because it was a preemie, that died, and there were the grieving parents, and of course me singing the Ave Maria. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. The consolation that frequency through sound brings is immense. And I remember having to pull it together. There was one woman who was a psychotherapist that helped me and my mom, because me and my mom, we've had issues for years, and she ended up dying of a brain tumor. And I mean, her funeral, there were at least 1,000 people in that church. Okay, my numbers are bad. Let's say 500. It doesn't matter. It's a big crowd. She was well beloved. Well beloved. Even the presider, Father Gillespie, who married me and I was dear friends with, I still love him to this day, was crying during the whole thing. But I'm the singer. I couldn't cry because if I cried, I can't sing. So I remember holding it all in. People coming up to me afterwards, commenting how beautiful my voice was. And I'm not saying this because it's for context, okay? I'm not saying this because I want any sort of like accolade or anything like that. But when Jesus said that to me, now that was before my awakening, before I became a Reiki master healer. Now I do not hold on. Now everything flows through me. But back then, it brought up to me what has been coming into my awareness for quite some time, that there is always an exchange of energy. And the woman who did this regression on me, pointed out that Matthew, our instructor, always points out the exchange of karma. When you heal people, you exchange karma. That is why it's so important for you to understand that this world is illusory, because nothing real exists except the love of God. So when that light bulb went off, and actually Jesus said, if you're ready to release it now, so you can release it. And so I felt it coming out. So it was a beautiful healing that was offered me. And of course I took it. Take it, take it. So I wanted to share that with you. And remember what I said at the beginning of this video. We cannot give our power away to anybody. Okay, the buck stops with us. The buck stops with us to remain sovereign. And so anytime we blame or feel victimized or blame and become a victim, we are giving our power away. We are allowing that frequency to dwell within us. We're giving it away. And it happens even when we're in bliss. Even when we are in worship, we're giving our power. That's the loosh harvesting. And so loosh harvesting can go either way. And loosh it has such a negative connotation. All we have to say is our life force energy. And so whenever we are giving our life force energy to a frequency, we're receiving as well. That's the law of, everything has an equal and opposite reaction. Again, awareness, awareness, awareness. Where does our exchange lie? Because we are exchanging frequency all the time. So that is the huge lesson that I've been wanting to give you guys, but I just haven't been able to sit down. This happened last Saturday. Today is Tuesday. So it's Friday. So this is very fresh with me. So take that lesson, my beautiful friends. Take that lesson. Okay, we are always interchanging our life force energy with beings, what we love, what we don't love, what we hate, what we enjoy. Everything is an exchange. It's just the biology, the nature of who we are. So take that into consideration when you are out of alignment with love. And ask yourself if you really want to be there, because it's all your thoughts and your minds. And of course, what can change these things, especially when they get so low that you become this circle of anxiety, this circle of fear, this circle of blame. And one important message from A Course in Miracles is that the ego believes that its validity comes through the fight. Okay, so anytime we are fighting, anytime we are resisting, anytime we are in that frame of mind, I wonder if I have it here because I keep notes. I take notes all the time. I have these yellow sheets of paper, ACIM Sunday 10/26. I've got my notes there. Where is it? Did I write it down? All right, I can't see it right now. I'm not going to waste my time. Okay. So what's very important is that we put our minds at peace, put our minds at rest, and really tune in to the voice of the Holy Spirit. Do I do that? I do that through my channeling. My mind is always going, and I still have my journey, but I thought I would leave that with you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this information. I am still going to Egypt in January of 2027, and even though it is over a year away, we need to begin this planning. So if you want to come, please, please, please contact me and get your deposit in now, because we need to make those numbers. And it's going to be an amazing trip. Okay, I love you all. Does Spirit want to say anything today? Yes, here they go. Hold on. Yes. Well, we are Ra. We are the Ra Collective. What a joy and a pleasure it is to again communicate to all those that resonate in the frequency of our dear one here. Oh, beautiful ones. What our dear one is communicating to you is a amalgamation of the Holy Spirit and human thought. It is possible, it is possible, it is possible to be in a constant communication with your higher wisdom, with your higher mind, with love. And there are individuals on this planet that can do this, and you can do it as well. Dear ones, as urgent as it is for this dear one to have beings come with her to Egypt, it is urgent for you as humanity to do this, to heal your mind. Because, dear ones, there are things as deadlines. As above, so below, as within, so without. And humanity is reaching a deadline. It is a few years off, but it is a deadline. It is urgent for humanity to figure themselves out, to figure out that you are extensions of your Creator, that you are creators of your own existence, and that things, systems on the earth plane are in place because of the collective energy of belief in those systems. And so if the collective belief in those systems is reduced or limited, those systems will transform. They will fall, if you will, or they will evolve, which is really what humanity is doing. Humanity is evolving from one form to another. And do know that there are forces that do not want you to evolve, but they cannot touch you if you are in touch with truth, because you will know what is truth. You will know what is meant for you in your own iteration of Creator on this earth plane. We are Ra, we are the Ra Collective. We love you. We are here for you. And through you listening, through you adjusting the knobs in your own computer system in your brain, we say, metaphorically speaking, adjusting the frequency of the tuner you hold within you more towards the frequency of love, you will change this planet. You are changing this planet. So take a moment now to breathe in, to imagine a knob in your mind's eye of frequency, and just say, I choose to tune towards love. I choose to allow more of the frequency of love to permeate and penetrate my body-mind complex. I choose and desire the frequency of love to inhabit me. And the more and more I choose, the more and more I shift, and the more and more I love. And with the action of love, acceptance, forgiveness, and letting go, I choose to walk in a path of light. I choose to embody the light of all there is. And that is who you are. You are light. You are love. You are peace. You are joy. This is your true truth. We love you. Okay. That was beautiful. Thank you, Raw Collective. I love you all so very much. I've been in business for a whole year, my friends, a whole year. I've been Anne Marie Morales Hypnotherapy and I Intuitive Arts, and I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. check it out. Check out what I have to offer. Be well and be blessed.